Tom, now as the interim athletic director, your role has changed in the last year or so, but what are the things on your plate here as we transition between fall and the winter sports seasons?
Yeah, so I've got to say that I've got probably the most exciting job at this point of the year, where, Beverly, our assistant AD in business operations, do a lot of budget, looking at spreadsheets, checking our numbers, just seeing where we're at, but it's not a lot of exciting things going on right now for me personally, but the most exciting thing is I get to watch the rest of our teams are doing.
Right.
So we came off of a good fall season. Obviously our football, our soccer teams, our volleyball teams, tremendous young men and women who lay it out there every single day. And you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but I really enjoy getting to support and watch those young students do the sport that they love. So it was a fun fall season. A lot of fun on the volleyball court, especially. I mean, you know as well as I do how many of those close matches we lost in the fifth set, and so tremendous job by those young ladies. And of course, seeing how the last football game came down to the last play on the drive, it's exciting. I mean, those are the moments you live for in sports, right?
You bet.
So in my role, I get to be a spectator of all of those and try to do a lot of the things behind the scenes to help support that to the best that I can. And as we move into the winter sports season, now we've got our men's and women's basketball teams off and running. We start with our conference play this week, and so that'll be the real test for both our teams. The guys, as you know, are off to a really hot start, and Coach Holly, Coach Williams, and that whole staff are doing a tremendous job with those guys, and they're playing really well together. Look like they're having a lot of fun playing too.
Right.
And it's sports. You should be having fun doing it. So I'm glad to see that. But this will be the real test.
Right.
And I think they know it.
Sure.
But I've got a lot of confidence in those guys. They work hard.
Back to the fall sports real quick. I'll just make the point that our fall sports, all four of them that I'm thinking of, the soccers, the volleyball, and football, all played at times very well. The women's soccer team, for instance, got off to a great start. Football, volleyball all finished very strong. Mm-hmm. So we had some very enjoyable moments during the fall. Absolutely.
And that's one of the great things about the Division II, and as well as our conference, is that there's a lot of parity. There's let's take our women's soccer team, for example. They lost in double overtime to a team that went on to the Sweet 16, the national tournament.
Yeah.
And we had them. We just couldn't finish it out there, and so. But that's what makes it fun. You don't know who's going to win every single game, and certainly there's going to be favorites, as there are in every sport. But nothing's guaranteed until the final minutes played.
Right. One of the things that's happened this year within the conference is the loss of St. Joseph's that folded their operations at the end of the last academic year. Can you kind of give us an update of what the conference is thinking about expanding or whatever they're planning on doing? Because I know they don't like the odd number of teams.
No, they don't like the odd number of teams, and unfortunately, one of our member institutions has helped that out. University of Wisconsin Parkside has made the announcement that they'll be leaving the conference at the end of this academic year, so we'll be down to 14. From all the conversations I've had, I think many of the ADs and the presidents would like to see the GLVC at 16. That's not set in stone, that's not guaranteed, because they've got to be the right 16 schools.
Sure.
It's important that we're the right schools, the right fit for the type of conference that we are. And so there are several schools that have expressed interest in being in the GLVC because of the fact that we're a great conference. That doesn't mean they're all going to be admitted, but I think that as we move forward, there'll be a little more clarity on who those schools are. Should we extend membership offers to them? But 16 is a great number.
Right.
16 works really well for postseason. It works really well for travel partners. And in my role in administration, you're looking for ways to help reduce the cost. And if I can spend less money on the buses, I can maybe redeploy those resources on things that are a little more fun than diesel fuel.
Right. But a lot of whispers about teams that might be, or schools that might be in or out of the conference. Is there a timetable for determining that? Do they have anything in mind?
There's nothing set, and part of it is it depends on all these different schools, it's the board of trustees or the board of regents and their presidents who are ultimately making these decisions. We meet 3 times a year as a group, in the spring, in the fall, and in the winter. The winter meetings will coincide with the NCAA convention. I anticipate we'll know a little bit more at that point, but even then, there's no guarantee. So we recently voted to, I know there will be no change going into the next academic year, so right. Schedules have been, for the most part, solidified at 14 teams for the next academic year, and so that's going to change the way some of the conference tournaments are played in postseason and travel partners, and so it's been interesting.
Right. Speaking of change, there's been a lot of talk with our new president, Dr. Elizabeth McLeod-Walls, of change on the athletic front, a new viewpoint with that, and where does that stand, and what is the message regarding Jewell athletics at the moment?
Yeah, the most important thing that I can speak for the president on this is she really wants the student-athlete experience to be exceptional, and that's a really vague thing. And she'll tell you she's not an expert in that, but what she does that I think is important and is good leadership trait is she looks to the people who do know what they're talking about. Well, I guess I'm one of those people. I don't always know what I'm talking about, but but she's made it very clear that she wants the student athletes to have a tremendous experience here and to get an outstanding education. And so making sure that we're doing the little things every single day to put our student athletes in a position to be successful as students first in the classroom, on track to graduate, and that they have a great experience with their coaches, with their teammates, and it's a fun experience. We don't have, most of our student athletes are not going on to professional sports. Those that do, is we celebrate them. But the reality is we're training the next group of doctors, lawyers, teachers, future political leaders and community leaders. And so, what our challenge is as coaches and the athletic staff is how can we use athletics as a vehicle to help shape the next group of leaders.
Right.
So from that standpoint, that's what we're trying to do, and we do a lot of those things really, really well. We want to be more efficient in some areas, but I can tell you, with the change in leadership, it makes you look at everything you do and have to answer the question, why do we do what we're doing?
Right.
Are we doing this because we've always done it, or is there a real reason for doing it? So it's caused me to do a lot of reporting and a lot of writing and a lot of meeting, but it's been fun. It's been energizing.
Good. Thanks, Tom, for explaining all those things to us, and we'll keep our eyes open to see what's on the horizon for Jewell Athletics. Tom Eisenhauer, our athletic director, has been our guest, and we'll be back with the second half in a moment.